When Professor Chidi Odinkalu writes, Nigeria listens. With piercing clarity and a fearless pen, he has mastered the art of exposing power's contradictions. In his recent critique, El-Rufai for El-Rufai, he rips through the carefully crafted image of Nasir El-Rufai, former governor of Kaduna State, who now seeks to rebrand himself as a solution to Nigeria's leadership crisis. But Odinkalu isn't buying that. With evidence, chronology, sharp wit, he reminds us that beneath the former governor's polished exterior lies a legacy soaked in ethnic division, human rights abuse, and the misuse of public power. El-Rufai has recently tried to present himself as a principled alternative to President Bola Tinubu. But as Professor Chidi Odinkalu points out, this attempt to reposition himself as a symbol of good governance is not only laughable, it is dangerous. Tinubu during his 2023 campaign even had El-Rufai respond to questions on insecurity at Chatham House, possibly to showcase the governor's expertise.
The youth, young people, if you would like to answer the questions, Mr. Tinubu. Please, if we can keep quiet for one conversation here. Thank you. Go ahead.
Let me once demonstrate here. One of those philosophers I wanted doctrine that I believe firmly in is teamship, unbreakable team. To demonstrate that, I will choose the first question, assign it to Dele Alake.
Okay.
And the second question, assign to Nasir El-Rufai. And third question, assigned to Ben Ayade.
But as time has shown, it was less a vote of confidence and more of a silent confession. El-Rufai didn't just know about insecurity, he embodied it. Back in 2015, El-Rufai stood at the podium and promised to fight insecurity, but according to Odinkalu, his 8-year rule delivered the opposite. Communities were not protected, they were punished. Among the many groups who bore the brunt of this government's hostility were the Adara people, a collective of indigenous Christians in southern Kaduna. The Adara, once governed under their traditional structure, faced what can only be described as cultural annihilation. The leader, the respected Adara, Dr. Maiwada Galedima, attended the government meeting in October 2018. On his way back, he was kidnapped and murdered. Rather than protect or mourn, El-Rufai went ahead to dismantle the Adara chiefdom entirely, replacing it with emirates that tilted power away from the Adara's cultural roots. It was a political move disguised as reform, one that fed ethnic tensions and buried justice. But the Adara weren't just stripped of cultural leadership, they were criminalized. When the 2019 elections approached and emotions ran high, El-Rufai publicly claimed that 66 Fulani had been massacred, a statement which Nigeria's own emergency agency and police dismissed as unfounded. Many believed it was an inciting narrative aimed at shifting blame and distracted from rising anger in southern Kaduna. Soon after, Adara community leaders, whom we may collectively call the Adara Patriots, were rounded up. People like Awemidio Maisamari, the president of the Adara Development Association, and other respected elders were arrested, beaten and thrown into detention without proper charges. The governor's actions were less about justice and more about silencing dissent. They spent months in detention, their names dragged through the mud, their dignity eroded. When the Kaduna State Attorney General finally admitted there was no evidence against them, the damage had already been done. Fast forward to March 2024, Awemidio sued El-Rufai personally, not in his capacity as a governor, but as a man who abused power. In the landmark ruling, Justice Hawaz Buhari of the Federal High Court in Kaduna found El-Rufai guilty of human rights violation. He declared that public office is not a personal weapon and that immunity cannot protect cruelty. For once, the law stood for all. El-Rufai was ordered to pay 900 million naira in damages, a symbolic, but significant statement. It was Nigeria's way of saying, El Tofiawa, a deeply cultural rejection. The courtroom became the voice of those silenced for too long. A man exposed. What makes a Professor Odinkalu's critic so powerful is not just the facts, it is how he connects them. He doesn't just tell us what happened, he shows how El-Rufai's actions are part of a bigger pattern: ethnic domination, autocratic tendencies, and a disregard for democratic norms. El-Rufai is no victim of political betrayal. He is the architect of his own fall from grace. The same man now trying to pose as a defender of liberty is the one who weaponized power against his own people. And yet, he still seeks relevance, even preparing to testify in a defamation case against lawyers who oppose him. I would describe Professor Odinkalu's essay as more than a piece of writing. It is a mirror held up to the face of power. In breaking down El-Rufai's illusions, he reminds Nigerians that leadership is not about loud promises or elite connections. It is about justice, empathy, and accountability. El-Rufai's past is not buried. It is documented, and thanks to Odinkalu, it now stands as a public record. The courts have spoken, the victims have risen, and the rest of us, we must choose to remember, because some reputations deserve to remain broken.
And I appeal to all of you, we spent 1 minute praying for those that were killed in Baga a few days ago, and hundreds of people that were killed in southern Kaduna and in Birlungwari in this state in the last 1 year. May their souls rest in peace. May God grant them Al-Jannah Firdaus, and may God take them into heaven. So we spent 1 minute of silence for that. I then went on to thank all the leaders of the APC, those that made sacrifices from the legacy parties to ensure that the APC came to be. I also thanked all the delegates that found us fit and proper to vote for us at the primaries. I also thank our leaders, particularly Major General Buhari, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, Dr. Bonaya Onu, Prince Tony Momo, and other leaders of the APC, including Chief BC Akande, our interim national chairman, that brought this party into being. Here in Kaduna State, we are on a mission of change for the better. Change that will bring better schools, better healthcare facilities, roads and infrastructure, support to our farmers, and programs that will empower our youth and women and revive our industries. That's what we're here for. The other party, the ruling party, the PDP, is in a state of panic. They are abusing, they are threatening, they are engaging in acts of arson. We should not be intimidated, but we should not be provoked. What the PDP wants to do in Kaduna State is to create crisis that will enable them to declare curfew and declare the results of the election. They are afraid of free and fair elections because they know that they cannot win free and fair elections in Kaduna State and in most of Nigeria. I'm appealing to all our party members not to be provoked. When they abuse you, don't respond. When they insult you, don't respond. When they attack you, don't retaliate. We are a party of peace because we know we can win any election that is free and fair. Do not fall into their trap of getting violent. Don't be violent. It is PDP that is the party of violence. We are not a party of violence. We should not be provoked into violence. But what we should do is to register, ensure we collect our voters card, and election day go and vote for the APC from top to bottom. APC straight, APC straight, APC straight. Do not be deceived. Do not be provoked. If we do that, we'll defeat them and they will go back where they came from.
A 1 minute monster.
Thank you. Your Excellency Vice President Adara, Chairman of the occasion, the celebrants, Mr. Chidi Odinkalu and Mrs. Chidi Odinkalu. Ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to say something protocol. I am not standing behind the podium because I'm too short. You cannot see me. So I'm coming out to be seen. First, very happy birthday to my brother. I still call him Governor Chidi Odinkalu. There has been many things before. I think it's unfair to ask me to speak about the conspiracies, the successes and the failures. 1 minute is too short to cover our quarrels, because we quarrel, we make up. The last quarrel we had was when he lost the primaries and left me because I'm supposed to be a magician, and if I supported him, he would have been the winner of the primaries. And many people came to say, your brother is upset with you. I said, I know. Wait, when Nigeria is in bigger trouble, you will come and talk to them.
And now we're in bigger trouble.
So here we are back together. Because Nigeria is in its biggest trouble since 1914. We're together working, conspiring to build a coalition to take Nigeria back on track, because it is off track. I just want to say one thing and then I will take my seat. Many people have spoken about recognition of poverty and whether politicians are deliberately using poverty as a weapon. I don't think so. Poverty weaponizes itself if allowed to exist and fester. That's what has happened in Nigeria. I don't think politicians are that smart to even sit and weaponize poverty. And for me, having been in private sector and public service, and have been a keen observer of our political deterioration, I believe that the problem that we have, which I think Governor Babangida referred to, is that we just get incompetent people and we hand over leadership to them. They don't know what to do. Most of them don't really know what to do. They just know how to grab power, but don't know what to do with it. And please, I would like to appeal to everyone here to reflect and look around. Wherever you see islands of progress in Nigeria, it is because a competent person has been given the opportunity to serve. I visited Rivers several times when Governor Amechi was the governor. I could see examples of policies that were addressing the concerns of the people of Rivers State. From schools to primary health centers, hospitals, and so on. It was very clear. He had an opportunity, he knew what to do, and he did it. And wherever you see progress, it is because of that. What we have done in this country is to allow bandits, not the ones in the bushes, the urban bandits, to take over the governments of our country. And I think the key challenge for Nigerians in 2027 is really to look at those that are offering themselves to leadership and pick those that have the competence, capability, capacity, and commitment to make Nigeria move forward. And I believe the celebrant, Chidi Odinkalu, is one of the few ones that one can call capable, competent, and committed. Happy birthday,